What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So I wanted to get into this. I wanted to talk about how optimistic I am for the Detroit Lions. And I know that optimism and the Detroit Lions don't shouldn't always go hand in hand. But you know what? I'm so excited about this team. You know, you listen to Mcneil in his press conference today with the Lions. He's talking about Dan Campbell, how excited he is about this upcoming season, how the team's getting along, how Dan Campbell's got nicknames for him, like Buttercup and Mac and all this fun stuff. And it really gets me excited that it seems like guys are really excited about this season, and they trusted Dan Campbell. It'll really be interesting to see. Mcneil is a guy that I have high expectations for. He's a guy that played, a lot of snaps for the Lions at nose tackle. He's a true, zero tech nose tackle. Tremendous football player out of NC State. And, Onwuzurike is another guy inside. I think you look at him, Jeff Okuda, those are two guys that you really got to count on to kind of take that next step. It'll be key for a big season for the Detroit Lions. Jeff Okuda, obviously, third overall pick in the 2020 draft. High expectations, has not lived up to him due to bad play as a rookie, torn Achilles last year, missed practically the whole season, happened in week 1. So Okuda rehabbing, working to get back. They need, if you can get him as a solid starter, that's big, because there's a lot of talk that, one of the bold predictions by a guy that writes for Sports Illustrated was that Okuda bounces back in a big way, or bounces back this year. It's a bold prediction, and revives his career. I think you got to be careful when you say revives his career, because in my opinion, based on where he was drafted, reviving his career would mean he's the Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, Patrick Peterson, guys that were taking top 5 at corner. That's what I would say would be reviving his career relative to where he was drafted, number 3rd overall in the draft, okay? So I think at this point, with the expectations lowered, reviving his career, you want at least a solid starter at the cornerback position. The Lions at the cornerback position, they're actually not terrible. Amani Oruwariye played good football for him last year. You had Jerry Jacob, the undrafted guy from Arkansas, do some nice things for him. So, Okuda, whether he's going to play in the slot outside, it sounds like he's going to play in the slot. They have at least a solid group of corners, and it's one thing like my dad and I talked about. The defensive line is going to definitely be improved this year. You draft Aiden Hutchinson, who whether you think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a Pro Bowler, all-pro type of great talent at the defensive end, he is going to be a good football player for the Detroit Lions. Josh Paschal is going to be a beast setting the edge. As far as the run game goes, as a pass rusher, is he ever going to be will he even be a good pass rusher? Maybe not, but he's going to be outstanding against the run, and he's going to be very stout, and he's a guy that's just going to be a force that you're just not going to be able to move as far as that goes. But, Onwuzurike is in better shape. Mcneil's already proven what he can do. Derek Barnes, another guy that you want to take the next step at the linebacker position. Safety, you bring in Deshaun Elliott, who was solid for the Ravens. So if you look at the Detroit Lions and you don't... Aiden Hutchinson, you love that pick, but a lot of people, if you're not familiar with Josh Paschal, so you see those 2 picks on the defensive side of the ball, and you go, I don't know. Kirby Joseph of the safety was another guy they took on defense. I should say his. You go, I don't know. Maybe this defense will be a little better. I think this has a potential to be, defense has to be tremendously improved. I don't know if this is going to be, to say this is going to be a top 10 defense in the NFL is a bit of a stretch, but this defense I think you're going to see big strides, and it's an improvement where at the end of this year, you're going to look ahead to 2023 and you say, wow, a couple more pieces in next year's draft, and this defense could be very good as far as, legitimately top 10, and starting to build kind of that identity that, Dan Campbell wants, as far as, just the gritty, tough, and he says guys that are swimmers, you throw them out in the ocean and they swim, meaning that they just, they want to compete, they want to get better. And, I think Mcneil fits that. Guys they've drafted, Onwuzurike, Derek Barnes is a gritty player. Barnes really showed what he could do when he played. You see the Minnesota game, he had that outstanding tackle at the goal line to stuff Minnesota. And, that's Derek Barnes is a guy that, a lot of people want to take the next step next year. But, Yeah, it's exciting because this is and I got to touch on the offensive line. Okay, if you watch Pro Football Focus, Mike Renner's a guy I respect a lot for. He has the Lions as the number 3 offensive unit, and it's a little bit of a projection. But if you remember, the Lions offensive line never was fully healthy together. You had, Decker missed some games. Ragnow missed some games. If you look at, Penei Sewell, who just became a beast as the season went along, struggled the first couple games against the Niners, and I forget who they played week 2. But despite the first 2 struggles, Penei Sewell just became an animal as the year went on. He's a monster run blocker. That's what he was in college. That's what's translating in the National Football League. Outstanding against the run. Love Penei Sewell. He's going to be a great player for a long time. Jonah Jackson, was a Pro Bowler at the guard position. Frank Ragnow, when he's healthy, is one of the best centers in the National Football League. Taylor Decker, been very solid at the tackle position. He's a guy that's now, what is he in? 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. He's already in his 6th year, believe it or not. So, that is a lot of good pieces right there. And, these are some of the best run blocking offensive linemen in the NFL. Ragnow's a beast against the run as a run blocker. Jonah Jackson, Penei Sewell. So, it doesn't even matter. Like Swift and Williams are good running backs. You could have, you could throw me back there. I could probably at least get, 4 or 5 yards or close to, 4 yards a pop as far as, there's a lot of plays even last year when the offensive line wasn't fully healthy. Swift was like running 5, 6, 7 yards without getting touched. I think, this is one thing I was talking about last night with my dad about the Lions, the win total at 6.5. Here's why I believe they should be able to get over that win total. Because it's one of those things like Jared Goff, whether you believe in Jared Goff or not. And do I believe in Jared Goff as a quarterback? No, I do not. But it's one of those things. The offensive line is going to be so good that, Jared Goff is just going to have to be historically bad for this offense to not, move the ball effectively and then to control the line of scrimmage. Like, he's going to have to be a turnover machine. The completion percentages have to be piss poor. Third down, third down conversion rate's going to have to be, just god-awful for them to, be bad. Because, here's the thing. When you can control the line of scrimmage and the offensive line, it really helps the defense a lot because the defense is on the field. They get to recover. You have your starters, primarily your key pass rushers get, more snaps because they're healthier. They're not as winded. So, those are some of the points I wanted to, touch on for optimism of the Detroit Lions. But watching the press conference, it seems like, Dan Campbell's excited. He complimented, having Aaron Glenn back as the defensive coordinator. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on is my optimism with the Detroit Lions and, touch on guys that I want to take the next step this year in their development as far as Okuda reviving his career relative to, just becoming a solid starter. Guys like Derek Barnes, Anzarique's in shape, and, Penei Sewell continuing to be a stud. And I should touch on, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hopefully he just keeps balling out like he should. And then, hopefully we get Jamison Williams out there early and he gets the ball early and often. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for more episodes and clips from the show. Till next time. Peace.